Okay, good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night leadership call. And my name's Patrick Tulloch, and I'm extremely excited to be here this evening and obviously have the pleasure to be a part of this amazing regular weekly call that we have. And, it's really to help individuals take their businesses to the next level and learn from some of the best in the industry, as I have been able to do myself over the number of years that I've been in this amazing industry. So, the first thing I want to share with you, if you're on this call, is that whether you're a new entrepreneur looking for an opportunity, or you're a seasoned veteran, and maybe where you're at is not providing you with the motivation and the incentive to take your business to the next level. Through this presentation here, through the images of success, as Jamie had shared with you just recently, I'm going to share some of the things that you can look for, you can work towards, you can develop, you can work on, that will help you to take your business to the next level. Or again, if you're just getting started and you're really not sure where to begin, then this is the right place. And it was years ago that I heard this comment from Dan Cato. He said, when the vision is clear, the journey is easier. And I think there are so many analogies that can really show this clearly to us. And, it can begin with, driving in an automobile on a very foggy morning. And obviously you're going at a certain speed limit, but you really can't see that far ahead of you. The visibility is very, very poor, and you're not even sure if you're in the right lane. This could happen on a snowy day in the winter where the visibility is very, very, very low, or it could be a pounding rain, which affects your visibility. And that can be very frustrating because you just don't know where you're going. You don't know when you're going to get there. And I've been in that experience myself, driving in an automobile in a snowy day in Buffalo, and I could not see where I was going, and it was scary. So I think it's really important that we realize that even in business, in life, it's always good to know where we're going. What is the plan? How are we going to get there? And there might be some distractions along the way, some obstacles, and obviously, we need to know how to overcome those obstacles. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. It happens through the experiences that we may go through. So, again, just keep in mind, when the vision is clear, journey is much easier. And so, I've come to learn at times we may have a tendency to take shortcuts in order to achieve our goals and dreams, only to find out that we had missed a few steps along the way. After all that, we must now start all over again. That's not a bad thing. A never quit attitude will build the character and confidence necessary to evolve into becoming the person that you truly desire to be. That's right, repetition, doing it over and over and over again. And it was in 1986 that I actually began that process. As far as starting a business, I had a journey ahead of me, and it was a business that I had run for 23 years, a multi-million-dollar business actually. But how did I get started? Well, I got started on the ground floor. I was the only employee, and I had to work the business. I had to do everything in that business. It was like the nuts and bolts. And sometimes we want to take that shortcut, and we want to think that we can do it quickly. The get rich quick scheme. But you know what? It doesn't exist. And if anybody ever offers that to you, guess what? You want to turn the other way. So I went through the process from being the sole employee to then being able to hire a second employee, jumping up to 5 employees, 10 employees, 15, and having a number of subcontractors working the business for me. And so this was, again, and I repeat, this was over time. So, there was a little bit of a journey involved. And the amazing thing is, back then in 1986, I did not have a mentor in the industry that I was in. I had no prior experience. So you can imagine the frustration that I may have went through on a number of occasions. But you see, when you decide, and this is really important, when you decide there's something in your life that you don't want, then there's no turning back. And I made the decision, and maybe you're on this call, and you've got to make a decision. Maybe you're at the point where you do not want to go back. You want to move forward. And I didn't have an option, so I had to move ahead. And I had to find a resolution. And so if you're there today, then you're in the right place. Now it's about finding the right opportunity for yourself and developing a never, never quit attitude. So one of the things I'll say to you is when you can find a great mentor, then what you're going to do is you're going to be able to eliminate many of the frustrations that you might normally go through if you're actually working on a business opportunity by yourself. So, if you can find that, you're in the right place. And I'm sure that you're going to see some great images of success surrounding that particular mentor as you go through that process. So, the next thing that we want to talk about is each and every step you take must move you towards your goals. That makes sense. You've got to have goals. And I've heard this line before. Again, I've been surrounding myself with some great people who are very, very successful. And they shared with me, what goals would you set for yourself if you knew you couldn't fail? What goals would you set for yourself if you couldn't fail? So I think the first thing for you to realize, and again, if you're a new entrepreneur, you're just getting started, you're looking for an opportunity, or you're the seasoned veteran, you have to go back to doing some of the basics because maybe you've just gotten away from doing the basics. And that is, you've got to have your goals and they've got to be written down. You've got to have goals and they've got to be written down. Because, there's a starting point and there's an ending point. Imagine a plane without a pilot or a ship without a captain. Those units would end up going around in circles. And you must read your goals every day. Read them, feel them, become a part of them. Know that those goals are going to drive you to achieve whatever it is that you set out for yourself. It will help you to be motivated. Every morning that you wake up, read your goals. You jump out of a bed every morning, 7 days a week with a smile on your face because you're excited about the day to come. You're excited because you're getting, one step closer to where you want to be. You can feel it. You can touch it. You can see it. And you want to be able to develop activity goals. If you've already started a particular business, you want to be able to set activity goals, that might revolve around picking up the phone X number of times on a daily basis. Sharing your product or your service on a consistent basis. How many times are you going to do that? You've got to be consistent. You've got to do it over and over and over again. It's like reading a book. You've got to pick up a book. You've got to read it. You've got to take the 15 minutes a day or half an hour. Make new contacts. I remember when I started my business in 1986, and I knew that the people who I knew, my friends and my family, were not the ones who were going to allow me to be successful in business. As it turned out, all of the contracts and people I did business with were people that I didn't know. That makes sense. So if you're looking at doing business today, you can learn how to develop your business. You can learn how to become a Fortune 500 company. You can learn how to market yourself. You can learn how to market your opportunity. And that goes back, again, to finding yourself a great mentor. Find yourself somebody who's gone through the process. They've walked the walk and they've talked the walk. And you can do exactly the same thing. As you see, the picture beside here on the goal picture is, about personal development. Okay, readers are leaders. And it's really, really important that, you got to focus on doing something maybe that you've never done before. So what I want you to do is I want you to start all over again. I want you to clear the slate. I want you to empty your mind. And now what you have to do is you've got to start filling it up and developing a library of resources that are going to allow you to begin to achieve your personal and financial goals. And the thing is, some of us on this call here may not like reading that much. And sometimes maybe it's just because of your mindset. And what you need to do is begin to focus on seeing yourself reading. Maybe you don't even have to start reading, but you need to see yourself reading on a consistent basis. Even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes a day, see it in your mind, in your subconscious. Plant that seed, and then you'll be able to take the next step to picking up that book and reading a few lines. And I'm not going to hold you to just reading a book. I'm going to tell you that you can pick up a CD, you could pick up an audio, a video, but you need to do it consistently. You need to do it over and over and over again. Not only will you begin to see a personal change in yourself, but others will see a change in you also. You'll be able to empower others in your life, in your business, and you'll be able to begin to move forward to achieving your personal and financial goals. You'll be able to envision the success. You'll see the difference. When I started working with my mentors 8 years ago, I'm not the same person that I was back then. And it's all because of personal development. That's one of the keys. But I'm going to share with you probably the biggest reason, and that right here. And it really comes down to surrounding yourself with the right people. And people can inspire you or they can drain you. And so you have to, be able to pick them wisely. And, I have been fortunate enough where I've been able to talk to a number of people over time. And I must share this one quick story with you. I had a gentleman who, was communicating with me, just asking me some questions about business, about, how I was able to achieve success. And I asked him, what was he doing? What kind of activities was he doing? What was he focused on? And not too long after, I received a message back, and I started to read the information that he had drafted up, and I actually, my stomach started to turn. I started to get upset. I was almost kind of sick, and I say that because I felt that this individual was doing so much. He was doing so many different things, so many activities that he wasn't very focused. And I really found it very hard to see how he was going to be able to attract what he wanted in his life. I think the universe was very, very confused. And whatever he was attracting, he was only attracting a little bit of each of the things, of each of the activities that he was working on. So, I shared with him, I told him he needed to get focused. And, I've gone through the process where when I, had a mentor 8 years ago, it was shared with me that I needed to work on a couple of things, marketing myself and marketing my opportunity. And that is what I focused on. And because of that, I've been able to, have some success. So what you need to do is find yourself a mentor. somebody who you have access to, who's available, who you can communicate with. You got to find either the right opportunity where you're not going to have to worry about paying for it, because you don't have to pay for it. You know, the way we do business today is much different than how we did it 10 years ago. So there's a lot of great mentors out there. And why a mentor? Well, they've walked the walk, they've talked the talk, they know what works. They've done it, they've gone through it, and they don't want you to have to go through the same thing. And they will tell you the truth, folks. That's extremely important. See, there's a lot of opportunities out there today where people will tell you what you want to hear. And usually it's a very get-rich kind of quick scheme. And what you need to do then is you need to turn the other way. And you need to walk or you need to run real fast. Because you know what? There is no quick fix. It's a process. It's an event. And it could take you 2 to 3 years to get to where you want to be. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to change? And usually, if you're on this call or you're watching this presentation, you might be looking for something else. And that's a good thing, because you have to go through the process. And, you know, they will also tell you what you are doing right, which is a good thing. You want to know the good, you want to know the bad, and you want to know the ugly, which is what you're doing wrong. You know, one thing I want to share with you that has come to my attention, I think more recently than prior to, is that when you have a mentor, what they're doing is they're looking at you from the outside in. You know, they can see you from a totally different perspective than you can see yourself. So you may not see some of the weaknesses that you possess. You may not see some of the things that you need to work on, but they can. They can see your strengths. They might see your weaknesses, and they might be able to help you focus on developing your weaknesses while you can utilize and maximize your strengths. So it's a real powerful combination to be able to work with somebody who has had some experience, and obviously they're willing to tell you what you need to know. So if there was one thing that I could say to you, you know, the fact that you're on this call here, is that you want to surround yourself with the right people. Find yourself a mentor. Find yourself somebody who is willing to work with you, coach you, train you to becoming the entrepreneur that you desire. Now, this is an area that I have a lot of fun with, and it's about trends. And one of the things that I say on many an occasion is the trend is your friend. The trend can last for a day, a week, for months, or it can last for years. But when you identify a trend, you identify a real opportunity. And so if you look at, you know, look through the ages, there have been a myriad of different trends that have come and gone, and actually some are still exist, but they're evolving on a consistent basis. I guess the fashion industry would be a perfect example of that. So if you can position yourself in the right place to take advantage of being in that industry, well, you can position yourself for greatness. You can position yourself for success. You know, the real estate industry is no different. And also we can take a look at the internet and all the different trends related to the internet. And then we have 2013 trends that are continuing. You know, the businesses of the 21st century. And that is being in the global market, the global trends. You know, it's so much easier today to do business anywhere in the world, just as it is to do business in your own backyard. And so what you can do, folks, is you can position yourself for greatness. You can position yourself for success. And this is how it really comes to play. You see, on the left-hand side, you see a circle, and that really represents one individual. And on the right, you see a multitude of people kind of working together. And this is my busy versus productive slide. And one of the things that I thought about not too long ago was, what does busy really mean? Because I've always heard the word busy. I'm busy doing this, or I'm busy doing that. I'm really busy. I don't have time because I'm busy. And what I came to conclude was that busy, you can write this down, busy is an undesirable distraction. Busy is an undesirable distraction. And the more that you think about it, the more that you do it, is the more that you are going to attract of it. So you really have to decide if you want to be busy versus productive. So when I look at busy, I look at an individual who may be working 8 to 12 hours a day. The income could be very limited. There's no real free time, no disposable income. The holidays that they take are at home, not abroad or not in the Caribbean. They're at home. And the kids ask you a question about something where it involves money, and your answer is no, because you just don't have it. So I think it's time to make a change. What about productive? Well, productive is a little bit different, because what you're doing here on the right-hand side is you're creating multiple streams of income. You're being creative. You can actually work from home. You don't have to worry about getting up and driving in traffic, rush hour traffic, spending an hour and a half to 2 hours either way. You begin to leverage yourself, the power of leverage, which is a great way to be able to generate an income. And you know, in my business, that's what I did for 23 years. I created leverage in my business. I didn't have to increase my overhead. All I needed was new business. So I focused on new business, created leverage, and I was paid a percentage of the work that came in. And that's, you know, one of the trends of the 21st century, being productive. And so also you have more free time. Okay, that's what we want. We want more free time, and I'll show you in a minute why. More free time, and we want to be able to obviously travel. So again, the next time somebody says to you, oh, I'm busy, ask them, let me ask you a question. Would you rather be busy or would you rather be productive? And I guarantee you they're going to think for a minute, and maybe what you have to offer them might make a difference in their life. So are you busy or are you productive? So here I'm talking about. I'm talking about lifestyle here, okay? I'm talking about creating a legacy for life. And for individuals on this call, it might be important that you have a certain home that you want to live in. You might want to travel to certain places. Maybe you've got a charitable organization you want to be able to make a donation to. You know, quality family time, schools of your choice. There's no limitations here. Shopping without having to look at the price tag. You know, you go into a restaurant, what column do you look at? Do you look at the prices of the product or the food that you're buying, or are you looking at the food itself? What side of the menu are you looking on? Imagine what it would be like to have the freedom to be able to not have to worry, just even if it was once. You know, what would it feel like? I think it would be pretty awesome. I think it is awesome, actually, to not have to worry about the price of something. So, ultimately, one of the things that we want to focus on when it comes to lifestyle, and I think this is so important because I know I didn't have it when I got involved in my business today, 8 years later. I didn't have balance. I didn't have, well, it was balance. There's three things, basically. Balance, there's the financial. The balance, sorry, is the first thing. And then what does that incorporate? It incorporates financial, it incorporates physical, and it incorporates emotional. Okay, so that's financial, physical, and emotional. And the thing is that most people, I think, do not have all three of them. They might have one or two, but they don't have all three. I know when I was working my traditional business, the financial was good, but I'm going to tell you the physical and the emotional was not. Because the physical, I wasn't healthy, because I wasn't eating properly, because I was working 24/7. I was the issue in my business. So I wasn't really a healthy person. And then obviously emotional wasn't that great too, because, I was always chasing. All right, chasing is a part of being busy. So you chase, and then what happens is you think you've solved the issue, and then guess what? You're starting all over again. So you begin to chase, and so the emotional isn't that great. So now, 8 years later, I have more balance in my life than I've ever had before. And so if you're, that new entrepreneur, or you're a seasoned veteran, you're looking for more balance, you're looking for greater flexibility, greater choices, then maybe the information that you're hearing here tonight will make a difference for you. So we're winding down here. We've got one fantastic slide left, and what it is, it's about going global. It's about going global with a capital G-O. Go global. Why? Why? Don't limit yourself, because there are no limitations. Doing business in North America alone is not where it's at. You're truly limiting yourself. We are in a global economy. This is a global market. There are no language barriers. Years ago, yes, maybe there were some challenges 10 years ago because, the internet has evolved over the past 10 years. We couldn't, utilize social media in the way that we do today, Skype, etc. Today, that's not an issue. So language barriers, no problem. We have translation capabilities. There are no limitations. Recently, I had a great conversation with a gentleman in Morocco. Now, I don't speak a word of French, but I know somebody who did. So, when you are asking the question, how can I do it? How can I go global? How can I build a global business? Well, what you need to do, again, is very, very important, is surround yourself with the right people. And they'll show you how. They'll work with you. It's very, very key. So start doing your research, and then you'll get the results. What does going global mean? Well, if you look at some of the great marketing companies of today, you can look at Walmart, you can look at Costco, look at McDonald's. They may not have the greatest products in the world, but they know how to market. They know how to get their message out. And so you can do the same. Again, remember, you can become a Fortune 500 company. You can teach and also implement marketing strategies that you can learn on marketing yourself, marketing your opportunity, etc. So what you need to do, folks, is do your due diligence and begin to manifest your images of success. My name is Patrick Tulloch, and I'm signing off from beautiful Toronto, Canada. Good night, folks.
Fantastic job, Patrick. Great.
Great job, buddy.